Hi everyone, my name is Glenda with SureFit Designs, and in this video I'm going to continue on talking about princess lines, but I want to show you how to do and design a princess line that has a little chunk of dart coming out from it. And I know that you'll recognize it. We can see this style in ready-to-wear, and we often see it in our commercial patterns. And if we take a look at the mannequin, it's where the princess line is coming out of the armhole and coming down along the side of the bust line down to the waist or however low it goes. But you have this little chunk of dart right here that is pointing, of course, towards your apex. Now, you can do that if you want to, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But this is my own personal opinion. I think princess lines that come out of the shoulder or out of the arm's eye that go over the bust line are more flattering in their finished appearance. But again, that's my personal preference. So here's how to do this. Taking a look at your bodice blueprint at this point in time, this is without seam allowances, and I'm doing it without seam allowances for clarity of vision in understanding where all of the design lines go. So your basic bodice would look like this, and we are going to take this bust fitting dart and it's going to get closed up, and that's going to shape this side front portion. But before we can start cutting and changing this pattern, I need to draw some design lines on here. And I need to first of all copy that straight of grain line over onto this side front panel so that when I do go and do my layout that I can line it up perfectly with the grain line of the fabric. So I'm just using this ruler with the 1-inch markings on it. I've lined one up on the straight of grain, and now I can come over here and make my grain line marking and put the little extensions on it so we know that that's the grain line. All right, the next thing that I'm going to do is take the designing stylus and draw the design line in. So for those of you not familiar, this is the designing stylus for SureFit Designs. It's got all the curves of your body on it, and I'm just flopping it over to take this particular curvature to create and draw the curved line that you're seeing on that test sample right there. So that's going to be the princess line, and you can see that there's this little chunk of dart that is aiming now towards the apex. Again, before I cut this apart, I'm going to make some X's, which will become my matching notches when I start joining it all back together. Now, we will pretend that I have now cut on this line, and this is now what the finished pattern looks like. And let me just pin this in place. I've done this sample in red so that you can really see how these design features look. So there's where it would be cut, and there's that little chunk of dart, which is what I'm showing you right here. And then the side front panel will look like this, and it's going to sit in this position. So right now it still looks identical to what the underneath pattern looks like, but I am now going to cut this dart out of position there, or out of the pattern. So I'm cutting on the bottom leg of the dart like this, and when you're working on your table at home, this will be much easier than what I am doing here on the demonstration wall, and you won't have things flopping all over. So I've just cut out that little chunk of dart. You can see it there. Now I'm going to close up the dart like this, and you can see how that opened up the dart in the armhole area, just like that. So that gives the shaping. And there you have it, the center front panel and the side front panel. Now, this is in a stripped down fashion, meaning that it doesn't have any seam allowances on it. So in order to cut it out and sew it together so that we don't lose any of the space and ease in your pattern, you must add seam allowances. So I've given an example here of the side front panel. Let me just repin and hope everything doesn't all fall off the wall on me, but it would look like this. The 5/8 inch seam allowances have been added, and I've done that very, very easily with the designing stylus. And so that's pretty much all that you need to do to create the princess line that has that little itty bitty piece of dart there. And for this and other informative videos, please make sure you go on over to the Sure-Fit Designs Learning Center and go to the video library. You're going to see all kinds of information on designing and drawing your patterns and just working with Sure-Fit Designs in general.